My heater decided to just kill itself, so yeah, no, this is why I'm wearing all of this. Anyways, welcome back to Tonikaku Kawaii. This time we're doing chapter 181, brought to you by Tonikaku Scans. Congratulations, guys, you're actually being consistent. 3 chapters in a row. I'm very proud of you guys, alright? Apart from that, I have nothing interesting to say, so let's just jump right into the chapter. The chapter starts off with some backstory. Now, I know, but hear me out, alright? So we have Tsukasa-chan and Shizuka Gozen, alright? Now, if you don't remember who Shizuka Gozen is, basically, she was this mistress to this one Japanese emperor, king, Japanese person, alright? So basically, this guy, he dies, alright? And Shizuka Gozen basically goes missing, and yeah, no, that's about it, alright? So we have Shizuka Gozen and Tsukasa-chan basically talking to each other, right? Shizuka, she's like, I'm sorry, Tsukasa-chan. I'm sorry I didn't give out a girl, alright? I gave out a boy. I'm sorry, right? Tsukasa-chan, she's like, don't worry about it, right? She's obviously sad, but, she's like, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's fine. All that matters now is that you live your life in peace, alright? And that's where the backstory ends. After that backstory, we cut to the present day, and we get to talk about my second favorite thing about Tonikaku Kawaii, Japanese history, because you might want to need some of that, alright? So, we have fun fact, Shizuka Gozen was the mistress to this one king, well, it says military commander, alright, so I'm just gonna call him that, and if I butcher any names, I'm sorry, that's not my intention. It's just that I'm really bad at pronouncing foreign names, okay? So, we have Minamoto no Yoshitsune. Hopefully I said that correctly, because if I didn't, I'm sorry. Alright, so that's what this girl, she's like, this guy, right? Apparently, okay, he was a military commander in the Genpai War. More Japanese history, alright? Basically, he was under the clan that overthrew another clan. And, yeah, so there's your Genpai War history, alright? And, they even made a game out of that Genpai War, which is, Genpai Tomaden, alright? There you go, that's the video game, alright? And, maybe I think that's about it that I should explain, alright? So, this girl, she's like, oh, it's that guy from that one game that my boyfriend really loves to play right now, alright? The other girl, she's like, oh, I know that game. Apparently he's like the mid-boss in that game. I think. I don't really know, alright? So, while they're just talking about the little games and stuff, we have Chitose and Kaguya, they're like, maybe we probably shouldn't talk about history with these two fuckers. I mean, it kind of seems like they don't know anything, right? Kaguya, she's like, yeah, no, you're right. These kids, they probably have absolutely no clue about Japanese history, right? Kaguya keeps talking, she starts talking about Minamoto, which I'm just going to refer to him as that because that's a really long name, and I don't feel like butchering it. Plus, it takes a really long time to actually say it, alright? So, basically, Minamoto, very important dude during the Genpai War, like I've said, alright? He was considered like this big final boss, right? But apart from that, Minamoto was in a relationship with Shizuka Gozen, alright? We already know who she is, right? Everyone's like, oh my, okay, so this actually did happen, right? Kaguya, she's like, yes, this actually did happen, alright? So, she continues, alright? So, Minamoto, he dies. Big sad, alright? But, alright, Shizuka, she lives, alright? But she gets captured by the enemy clan, right? Everyone's like, oh no, she got captured? But, except Tsukasa-chan, because, Tsukasa-chan was probably in that war, alright? So, Kaguya, she's like, yeah, no, alright? So, apparently, Shizuka got an offer by the enemy clan leader, alright? Which, honestly, looks very similar to Prince Shotoku, alright? But then again, that might just be me acting up, and you have no idea how long it took me to remember Prince Shotoku's name, alright? I had to go through chapters, literal chapters, just to find the name, and then even then, I honestly don't know why it took so long, but apart from that, right? So, basically, Prince Shotoku, or who I think is Prince Shotoku, gives Shizuka, like, an option. If she gives a girl because she was pregnant with Minamoto's child, alright, he's like, listen, if you give a girl, she lives, alright, congratulations, you and she lives, alright, but if it's a boy, the Prince Shotoku, maybe, God knows, he's like, listen, that kid probably is going to be like the biggest threat to me, right? So basically, if it's a boy, he dies. If it's a girl, she lives, right? And you want to know what happens? She gives out a boy, alright? Meaning that the child dies, which is big sad, alright? And that kind of also explains the very beginning, alright? The backstory that, oh, Shizuka's, was like, I'm sorry I didn't give a girl, right? And Tsukasa-chan was like, don't worry about it, I mean, then again, your child was murdered, so, like, whatever. Live your life, right? And, all of this happens, right? And then, and then just Shizuka goes and just disappears like that. So after Kaguya basically tells her little history lesson, the high school girls are like, oh, so this is like literally like the biggest century find in the entirety of Japanese history, right? So, Kaguya, she's like, yeah, no, this could be, if it's actually real, right? And then they start looking more or less around the graves, and they realize that there's just a lot of people that have just mysteriously disappeared over the ages of Japan's history, all right? Might add more lore, you never know, right? And, Kaya, she's like, oh, I see now. No wonder Tokiko wanted to hide this place. No wonder there's a dummy Kiyomara mansion down there. It's because she wanted to protect all of this, right? Now, may or may not this be actually true. Who knows, okay? Maybe Kaguya... I actually, no. Kaguya doesn't know that Tsukasa-chan is immortal, okay? So, she believes that, it's because of this and not because Tsukasa-chan is immortal. At least that's why I think that Tokiko basically kept this place going because, Kaguya was living here, but whatever, right? So, she's like, okay, this is pretty cool, I guess. And then she basically just, leaves. She's like, okay, we're done here now, and I'm just gonna go. Tsukasa-chan is surprised that Kaguya is basically just gonna leave like that, She's like, hey, is that all? Is that genuinely it? Right? Kaguya, she's like, yeah, that's about it. Plus, I'm dirty right now, so I kind of just want to go take a bath, so, can I just go? Right? Kaguya, Tsukasa-chan, she's like, oh, okay, fine, whatever, right? But she's like, are you really sure that that's just everything? Kaguya, she's like, I mean, yeah, that's, I already found out my answer, and honestly, I'm pretty content with that, okay? Now I know why Tokiko spent so much money at this place, Gotta hide all these grave markers. Now I understand why there's a dummy, right? And then she, I guess, starts talking more or less like, plus this place was probably some person's like a mental place to rest and stuff, so maybe it's probably for the best that I stop disturbing this area and, let it peace, alright? Tsukasa-chan, she kind of smiles at Kaguya, and Kaguya leaves. While everyone else is getting ready to leave, one of the high schoolers, she's like, hold on. Let me just go up to this grave marker. So everyone just looks at her, and she basically prays at what I believe is Shizuka Kozen's grave marker, right? Tsukasa-chan, she's surprised. She's like, wait, are you really praying? Right? The high school girl, she's like, yeah. She starts talking about how, Shizuka's Gozen life seems to be pretty hard and kind of a hellhole to live in, right? Especially during the Genpai War and stuff, She's like, if there's a heaven or another world, I hope that she's having her best life. I hope she's relaxing right now. So, Tsukasa-chan, she smiles. She's like, I mean, yeah, it's been 800 years. I'm sure that her dream has come true. I'm sure she's happy, right? So then everyone decides to, actually bother to leave, right? And, we have Tsukasa-chan and Nasa basically with each other, right? Nasa's like, so, are you just gonna leave it like this? Like, you're not gonna do anything with it, right? Tsukasa-chan, she's like, I'm just gonna leave it like this, right? And then I believe they start talking about Tokiko, but then again, they don't actually mention anyone. Tsukasa-chan, she's like, I'm sure she'll get mad if, I were to revisit this place, ooh, stop being in the nostalgic, moments and stuff. I'm pretty sure they're talking about Tokiko, right? But, Tsukasa-chan leaves, right? And we cut to basically Nasa's inner thoughts, right? He's like, I don't really know Tsukasa-chan, alright? He's said this multiple times. He has no clue who she really is, truly, alright? She seems to be holding some really painful thoughts, alright? Even though she's immortal, she's still human at heart, she got some painful thoughts going on, right? Well, we also get, some panels, alright? So, one of the high school girls, the other one, basically notices, this weird little rag and stuff, right? And she decides to pick it up, right? And while, Nasa's like, some of Tsukasa-chan's memories must have been pretty hard, but she'll probably get over it, right? And that's where the chapter ends off, right? A lot of lore, very nice, right? I guess we finally figure out, finally we get, an official interaction between Kaguya and Tsukasa-chan together, finally. And I'm pretty curious on what that little rag that the other high school picked up actually is. Hopefully it's nothing too bad, because, I don't really think that we should... I mean, then again, If this gets into supernatural territory, which may happen, I wouldn't really be surprised, but, let's hope something good comes out of, the high school girl picking up the cloth. Anyways, that's about it. I have nothing else to say. I hope that you enjoyed this. Oh my god. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this chapter. I'm sorry about that burp or whatever it was. I have nothing interesting to say anymore. So, yeah. Goodbye.